Hey friends, it's Christy. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my September art journaling spread video. So I started art journaling back in January for the very first time, and so far I have done one project a month, one spread a month. So I'm still relatively new to this. I would still classify myself as a beginner, but I am absolutely having so much fun with it, and I hope that you're here to join me, whether you're going to also create an art journal page or even just hang out for the chatting. I have a lot to update you guys on today. I feel like so much has happened this month, so I'm really excited to get in and just share some stuff with you guys and create some beautiful art. So you can grab whatever you're working on, whether that's card making, knitting, art journaling, baking, whatever, or you can just hang out, whatever you prefer, but I hope we're going to have a great time today. So what I have for today's project is my art journal. Like always, I'll have the one that I used linked down below in case you're interested. I really love the size of this one. I also have some pattern paper from the Stamperia Forest collection. This is actually the very first paper pad that I bought for art journaling. So it's from last year, but I have saved it for this year because of the red squirrels, which are my favorite animal. I love red squirrels, and September was my birthday month, so I have been saving this. It's also more of a fall theme, I feel like. So I feel like this is going to be perfect for this month. I also have some little bits of ephemera that I've pulled out. I've got some different tickets and papers. I've got some little mushroom washi tape stickers, just like a book page and stuff like that, different ephemera. I'm not sure exactly what all I will use. I also like to add something from my personal life, so I've got some little flyers and bookmarks and business cards from some bookstores that I visited on my birthday this month, last week. I've got some washi tape that I always use to seal my journal with and then just add layers of texture. And then I think I'm going to use my Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pens today for some color. We'll see. I want to keep it kind of to the neutral tones here, the earth tones, the greens and browns probably. But yeah, we'll see. I think this is what I'm going to use. I may change my mind there, but that's what my kind of vague idea is. I never really have a complete plan in mind, just a general direction. And that's what I love about art journaling, is that it's just very go with the flow. Nothing is too planned out, which is completely different than my card making videos. But I kind of just like that. It goes against my nature. I am a complete planner person. I like to have everything mapped out for myself, but it's kind of freeing to just kind of make a mess and have it turn into something beautiful and not have too much of a plan, and know that it's a safe space to kind of explore that. So I'm going to cover up my work surface, since this is what I also use to film my card making videos on, so I don't want to get it too gunked up, and then I'll be right back to jump in. Alright, so I've laid down my Tonic Studios craft mat, and we are going to open up our art journal to this spread here. So I think I'm going to grab a bulldog clip just to help the page lay flat at the beginning. It usually kind of trains itself before too long, but just adds a little bit of weight there. And then I'm going to seal the page, like I said, with some washi tape. This is a step I always take. If you don't, any mediums that you use may leak through to the other pages, and especially in the binding. But also why I do that is because my book is made with perforated pages. You can kind of see that starting to tear away right there. And if that gets wet, it's only going to get worse. So that's what I don't want to happen. I want to keep my pages in my book. So adding that little bit of washi tape is going to just hold everything together and keep it all nice and stable. And also just keep any inks or water or wet mediums kind of contained to this page. So I'm just gonna add that in the seam, and it can even get a little bit wrinkly if it wants to. That's totally fine because that just adds texture. And I'm just going to make sure that that is really smoothed down in the center. And then any leftover at the bottom I can just tear off. And that little bit I may have to use some scissors, and we'll just stick that there. It's just a little bit too small to grip to tear, and I don't want it sticking the other pages together, so we'll just cut that off. And there's a tiny little bit up at the top, so just using my Cutter Bee Teflon coated scissors for that. Okay, I think that's good. Alright, so we'll stick down a little bit more just here and there. Just find the beginning again. So yeah, I have so much to update you guys on that I hope that I don't forget some of it. I should have made myself like a cheat sheet to kind of, you know, for like discussions or something, but I did not do that. So hopefully I will remember everything that I've been wanting to tell you guys. It's one of the reasons that I love these art journaling videos so much, is because I really feel like I get to chat with you guys and just get a little bit more personal. You know what? I'm going to zoom in. Hold on one second. I feel like that's better. I just get to chat a little bit more on a personal level with you guys. The card making videos, you know, I'm trying to share the instructions of how to, you know, create that kind of a card, or be inspired by that kind of card, or to color with certain Copic combinations or whatever. And with this one, because there's not really any plan, there's not a whole lot of instructions, I just can chat with you guys and, you know, talk about some stuff that's going on in my life, which is always fun, because then it feels more like I'm hanging out with my friends and we're just having a good time crafting. So, alright, I think that's it for that one. And then I've got this roll here with some fun little critters and things. So some of this stuff may get covered up, and that's totally fine. Right now I'm just building up layers and just adding stuff that may end up showing through in the end, like little pops of it. And because these washi tapes are transparent, I'm even layering them on top of some of the other ones, and you'll see a little bit of that coming through, which is also fun. There's another bunny. We'll put that one next to that bunny. And then here is the one I was excited for, the squirrel. Since we're going to have some squirrels on our art journaling page, I thought this squirrel would be nice to have. We'll just stick him right there. So I've got some washi tape. I chose this one because it has the number 9 on it for September. September is the 9th month of the year. And so I thought that might be a nice little detail to add. I'm not sure where exactly to stick it in a way that it'll end up showing up on the page, but we'll just pop them here and there and see what happens. Okay. I've also got this washi tape sticker. That's just another tag that has different days of the week on it. And I think I might tear that one and use it in more than one spot, so we have more chances of little bits of it showing up here and there. There we go. And this one I just chose because I liked the greens. I plan on using some different greens in today's art papers, so I thought that might be just fun to have. Just trying to create little clusters of things that might show up. We've got some of these mushrooms. And we'll stick in here. I have so many things to talk to you guys about that I'm not even sure where to start. But let's start with my health update. So what I'm talking about, in case you're new to my art journaling videos, is pretty much at the same time that I started art journaling, I also found out that my diabetes was really out of control. And so you guys have kind of followed my journey to reclaim my health. And I had to start taking insulin, which I was really, really upset about. I had to inject myself nightly with insulin because it was really bad. I thought I was controlling it, but apparently I wasn't. And then it got really bad. So I just had to start taking insulin. And when I did that, I started to really change my health situation. Like I started changing my diet, I started exercising, I started trying to get more sleep and trying to stress less, which was not super easy, but something that was definitely necessary. I really like this little alphabet strip here. I think I'm going to add that. And the glue that I'm using for like the paper stuff is the Elmer's Craft Bond Extra Strength. So like I said, you guys have kind of followed my journey there to reclaim my health. And the last, I think I told you guys, I had a really good A1C. Like originally my first A1C was 9.9, and then I'd gotten it down to, what was it? Okay, I just had to look it up really quickly because I couldn't quite remember, but it started at 9.9. That was when I had to start taking the insulin, and then I got it down to 6.1 in 3 months, which was crazy. My doctor was so impressed. It was like night and day, because when I first started seeing her, she was a brand new doctor to me. In January, I think, or February. I'd never seen her before, but she's the one who made me start taking the insulin. So she gave me a really big wake-up call, and I could tell she was not impressed with how I'd been handling my health, and she was very, very, very strict. And so I was just like, oh, I don't even know if I like her, but you know, I have to do what she says because I don't want to lose my vision or, you know, my toes or anything like that. So the next time I went to see her, she was like a completely different person. When she saw that my A1C had gone from 9.9 to 6.1 in 3 months, she was like blown away. She was like so proud of me. It was amazing to, you know, to kind of get that kind of response after, you know, the first time when it didn't go so well. But then 3 months later, I kept doing the work, and my last A1C was 5.2. So anything less than, what is it, 5.7 is not even considered pre-diabetic anymore. I think that's how it works. Is it 5.7? Anyway, I am diabetic because I'll always be a diabetic, but my numbers were so low. My numbers were actually lower than my husband's last A1C, and he's not even pre-diabetic. So, yeah, I've been doing really, really well. And when she saw that my numbers were that low, the 5.2, she said, okay, you can stop taking insulin. And I was like, okay, like, do you want me to wean myself down off of it? And she's like, nope, don't take it today. She's like, you're done. And since then, I have been doing perfectly well. The very next morning, my blood sugar was just slightly high. It was like 133. 130 is the cap of like normal. And it was 133, and since then, the next day, I have been in the completely normal range without any insulin whatsoever. So amazing. I've been just so elated that I was able to get completely off insulin in 6 months. She said that doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. People normally, a lot of people never get off insulin, and to get off in 6 months, she said, was just like incredible. She was super proud of me. So that was just such a good feeling to know that all the hard work that you've done paid off, because a lot of times you work really hard, especially with health stuff, and your body just doesn't respond. So it's like, you know, even though you're doing the right things, it doesn't always show up, you know, on your results. But to have the results show, you know, that I had truly put in the hard work, that I was listening to what she said and making those changes, and my body was responding to that hard work, was just amazing. I was so happy. Let's see. I think I'm going to jump into my Stamperia papers. I'm going to wash my hands really quick first because they're very sticky. So hang on one second. All right, so let's see what I want to use. I'm pretty sure this here is going to be my focal image. So I'm going to go ahead and tear that out now. I'm not sure how I want to trim this out yet, so let me just see. I also love this fox, but I'm going to save him for a different day, because I think he deserves a page all on his own. He deserves to be the star. And I love this as well, but again, I'm not sure that I want to waste it yet, and I don't know if it goes with the squirrel. I guess I could have also used this squirrel. It's just slightly smaller. But I think I'm going to use the big one. Super cute little images on this page. I love the hedgehog too. Should I use the hedgehog? I could use the hedgehog like down here and the squirrel up there. That could be cute. I'm going to tear it out. I might use the raspberries for something, because I have been going out every morning. We have raspberry bushes that we just planted a few months ago by our house, so they're still pretty small, but every morning I have been going out and picking fresh raspberries for my Greek yogurt that I eat in the morning. Raspberries are very low on the glycemic index, so they're good for me. So I have been eating raspberries like for weeks now. Just every morning I go and pick a little handful. So I might use that. I hate to tear all these papers out and then change my mind, but I think I am going to use it. And then anything else? Maybe the fall leaves, but I don't know. Leaves are just starting to change here, so that seems more of like an October thing, but I don't know what my plan for October is yet. So okay, well, let me start with these. I think I'm going to trim out the focal images first, and we'll go from there. But yeah, I wanted to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, because honestly, because this whole health journey basically started at the same time as I started art journaling, or like, you know, the second month in, so my second video in, I feel like I have been with you guys this whole time, and that you've kind of been cheering me on, because the comments that you guys have left me each month when I've updated you have been so encouraging. You've shared your stories of your own health journeys or your loved ones, and just been so encouraging and telling me that you knew that I got this and everything. And it really felt like I was one of those runners at a marathon, and you guys were on the sidelines cheering me on this whole time. It truly felt like I wasn't alone in this journey, and you guys helped. Like, you really did. I know that seems weird because this is the internet and whatever, but I felt you guys there with me. I did. I felt you guys with me on this journey, and I think it really made a difference. I don't know if I could have done it without you guys, at least not in the same amount of time. I really felt like I had people in my corner, and that was incredible. You know, it's so much, I don't know if I want to say easier, but definitely nicer to do things when you know that you've got support, you know. It just makes the journey easier to contend with, you know, when you know that you've got people who are checking in on you and asking about you and kind of holding you to this standard because they believe in you and know that you can do it. It makes such a difference. And I honestly, I felt you guys with me, and I really owe a lot of this journey, this health recovery, to you guys, and I appreciate you guys so much for that. Like, yeah, I think that would be perfect. And it kind of stinks that I put that mushroom where it's going to get completely covered up, but that's all right. I think it would have been cute to kind of even overlap in front of the hedgehog, but I don't know that I really want to lose this. I kind of like this tree here. All right, well, let's worry about that in a minute. For this one, you know what? I'm going to tear this one too. I think I'm going to just... I like the organic feel of the lines when it's torn rather than just cut straight, you know. It just feels like a little bit more cobbled together, which is what I like. I love the collage look of things. When I was a little kid, I used to take leftover little scraps of wrapping paper that my mom would give me, and this is when I was really little. And I would like cut out the little pictures from the wrapping paper and make collages with them, and I loved doing that. That was such a fun activity for me. So I'm thinking something like that for the squirrel, and then the hedgehog maybe even down here, or should it go all the way? Well, let's see. I have all these little squares, but I don't know. This one might be nice with the pine cone. I don't even know where that would go, but just another element somewhere. Maybe even up there. Just tear out little bits to kind of make a border here. Maybe that's too big. Maybe up there. And I'm liking that one right there, so I'm going to go ahead and start adhering some stuff, because I don't want to overthink it. I want to start adding things to the page, and you know, not making this video like super duper long for you guys. I tried to keep them around an hour long, which is what I feel like most art journaling videos that I watch on YouTube are about. But I know there's been, I think, one that was like an hour and 15 minutes, and I did get some comments that it was a little bit too long. Some of you didn't mind. Some of you were like, oh, you know, the longer the better. You like the long videos. But other people had a hard time with the long videos, and I get that. You know, everybody's busy. People have stuff going on, and if you don't have time to sit through that length of a video, I totally, you know, can understand. Especially if art journaling isn't your thing, and you know, and you're just doing it for like the chats or whatever. I can understand that that could feel like a long time. So I try to keep them about an hour long, but it's hard to predict, you know. It takes as long as it takes, and can be hard to keep it within a certain time frame. It's hard to please everybody, but try to at least please the majority. And if I can do that, then I feel like I'm okay. So, oh, I should use those little things from my birthday trip before it gets too long. Before it gets too late, I mean. Yeah, I better grab those and start figuring out where those are gonna go. I've got a bunch of little things from bookstores that we went to, and I really love this one here from Loganberry Books, but I think I'm gonna save this for another day because I don't feel like the color palette goes. And I think the same with this little thing here. And I don't know if I can get some of this in. The purple is too strong, but I could just use like the part where it says Loganberry Books maybe. Or I might just use the Apple Tree Books because it's the same color palette. And Apple Tree Books was actually my favorite of the stores that we went to. So for my birthday, it's kind of a long story, and I don't know if you guys are even interested in it, so I don't know how much detail you want me to go into, but I have something that I have recently come to hear is called birthday blues. I never heard that term until this year, but it perfectly describes what I have. I have a lot of negative emotions surrounding my birthday. I had a lot of sucky birthdays growing up. I had a few where people forgot completely, and I thought that they must be throwing me a surprise party because nobody was saying anything about it. And I was like, as the day kept going on, I was like, there's a reason that people have forgotten, you know. Even my best friend had forgotten. Everyone forgot. So I was like, oh, okay, well, they must be throwing me a surprise party. And then as the day went on, it got to be like 11 o'clock at night. And I happened to say to my best friend that evening, because it was at a convention, which was probably why people forgot. We were at a convention for our church. But anyway, so we were all out of town and everything. But I said to her as we were climbing into bed that night, because we were staying in like a dorm situation, so we were all like camping out on the floor, all the girls in this room. And I said, I can't believe it was my birthday today. And she freaked out, was so embarrassed and horrified. She snuck into the kitchen and like stole a brownie for me, and to, you know, kind of like try to make up for it. But yeah, that was one of my birthdays. And I don't know, just lots of stuff from growing up. I didn't have great birthdays growing up, and so usually my birthday is the day that I feel like the most unlovable in the entire world. I have really big issues with my birthday. So once I became an adult, and well, actually not once I became an adult, a few years ago, like maybe 5 years ago, I decided that I was tired of, like, on my birthday I would usually like dress in black and just like not want to talk to people and like try to push people away because I didn't want to be hurt again. It wasn't healthy, you know. I'm a mom of kids, and I didn't want to keep living like that. I didn't want my birthday to be like that anymore, and I didn't want to set an example for my kids, you know, that this was okay to, you know, just push people away on your birthday, you know. so I told my husband that year, I was like, I just want to get out of here. I want to go somewhere. I want to go somewhere and just have a fun day. And that worked. So ever since then, on my birthday, I go somewhere. I don't want to be in town where, you know, now I have people in my life who remember, but you know, I don't like, it just brings up a lot of those emotions again every time. So I'd rather like be somewhere out of town where it's harder for people to reach me, and I can just like, it doesn't even necessarily feel like a birthday, it just feels like a fun day away. And so that's what I've been doing every year since. I just go somewhere. So that was a long story to explain that. So this year we went to Cleveland. So Cleveland is about a 2-hour drive from where we live. It's not too terribly far. And I had just kind of Googled cool bookstores near me because I love bookstore shopping. That's like one of my favorite things to do on the planet. And my husband is not really a reader, but he loves me. And so because it's my birthday, I thought, well, maybe I could talk him into visiting a few bookstores. And I happened to find that there were kind of 4 bookstores pretty close together in Cleveland. The one that I was really excited was called Loganberry Books, and it's like a mix of used and new books. And it was really cool. That one was the one that was this place. The cat wasn't there. I believe the cat has passed away. Because I saw something on YouTube about that, but it was a really, really cool place. It was kind of dark and crowded, but those are really cool bookstores, you know, because it's like a scavenger hunt. Like you never know what you're gonna find. So that was really cool. But then we went to the next stop, which was Apple Tree Books, which is this one here. And it was a much smaller space, and it was only new books. But just the way that they had it set up, it had like a lot of vintage toys, like the shelves on the top were filled with like tin dollhouses and stuff like that. It was just really, really cool. I really enjoyed that one, and I think that one was actually my favorite of the day. I just really liked that place, and the staff were like super friendly and welcoming, and I don't know, I really liked Apple Tree Books. That one was my favorite. And then after that we went to a place called Max Backs, which I think is like for paperbacks. That was my guess. And that was also like a mix of new and used. And that one was kind of cool too, although it was probably my personal least favorite just because of like the books that I was looking for. I had a hard time finding something there, and I'm one of those people that like I can't leave a small store without buying something because I just feel bad. I want to support small businesses. But I had a hard time finding anything to buy there. I ended up buying like a classic book, 100 Years of Solitude, which I haven't read yet, but I know it's like on the list of the top 100 books that you should read in your lifetime. So I did grab that there. And then we went to one more place called Horizontal Books, which was more of like a discount bookstore where they sell like overstock books. But I didn't have very high expectations for that one, but it ended up being really cool. And I got the most books there. I got 4 books there, so that was a success too. The reason we went to Horizontal Books because we also went to this place called the West Side Market, which was right around the corner, and that was just like a place that had like all these cool vendors, like meat stalls and cheese sellers and bakeries and fresh pasta, and just it was really cool to just walk through and see the different stuff. And we did try a few things. My husband really likes meat sticks, like smoked meat sticks, so we tried a couple of those, and we got a croissant at one of the bakeries. He got like a fruit tart at another bakery. So that was fun too. So we had a wonderful day in Cleveland, actually. My family, my mom's side of the family is from Cleveland. So it's kind of nice to go back. I don't know any family that still lives there anymore. They've all passed away, or any relatives that I do still have there, I just didn't know well enough, so I don't really know them to visit anybody. But it was cool to go back, because when my great-grandparents, when I was a little kid, I was very lucky to have my great-grandparents in my life until I was, I lost my great-grandpa, I think, when I was 20, and I lost my great-grandma when we were in Africa when I was 25. Yeah, so I was very lucky. Everybody in my family got married very young and had kids very young, all of my grandparents. So I had my great-grandparents, and they lived near Cleveland, very close to Cleveland, and we used to go visit them with, I would visit them with my grandma, not my great-grandma, but her daughter, my grandma, almost every weekend. And I just loved going there. So it was really cool to kind of be in that area again. Yeah, it was a fun day. It was a really fun day, and, you know, a nice way for me to spend my birthday. It felt like, you know, a happy, nice day. So, yeah, that was really cool. That's better. And then maybe just stick that there. I think I maybe just want maybe one more cluster of raspberries. I'd like something to kind of overlap this section here, because it just feels like it's too on its own, you know, like all of its edges are not covered, so it doesn't feel very integrated into the page. So I think I'm gonna just fix that real quick. So we'll do one more of these raspberry clusters, maybe right there. I don't want to cover up the apple tree books, but I do just want to do something about the edges here. Maybe even something like that. But yeah, I was watching a video, I believe it was Darling Desi. If you've never watched her videos, she is just about the cutest person on the planet Earth. But she does like really cozy videos, like cottagecore, and she loves books and tea, and it's just, I don't know, she's just loves life, and I really adore her. I found her, I want to say maybe 2 years ago or something, and I have just followed her ever since. But she was talking about, I'm pretty sure it was her, talking about birthday blues, and I had never heard that term before. Like, I didn't know that there was a way to describe that, but I just immediately resonated with that, and I was like, holy crap, that is what I've been feeling all these years. That's what it is. It's birthday blues. So yeah, I don't know very many people in my life, or I had never heard of anybody else who experienced those kind of emotions about their birthday, you know, that it's just really an emotionally laden day. So I don't know, I guess there are other people like that out there. I don't know. Hopefully you guys aren't one of them. I hope that none of you have had that experience, because it's not something I would wish on anybody. But if you are, then like I said, I have found that just kind of taking the day into my own hands and doing something that makes me happy and not worrying about how other people, you know, kind of feel about it or respond to it or remember or don't remember, or, you know, that kind of just has changed how I feel about it. Or at least it keeps the negative emotions at bay. So, if you are somebody who experiences that, and I hope none of you are, but if you are, that might be something that would be helpful to you too. All right, I think I'm happy with how this is looking now, so I'm gonna grab some white gesso and just start to knock some of this back a bit. All right, so the one that I'm using is the Pro Art white gesso. I will have all of the supplies that I'm using linked down below as much as possible. Some of the links, like those to Amazon, they are affiliate links, so if you use them, you do support my channel, although with Amazon, you have to check out within 24 hours of clicking on the link or else it doesn't count. So just be aware of that. But anyway, if you do choose to use my links, I really appreciate it because it just enables me to, you know, purchase more craft supplies to use for you guys, to kind of just show you how things work and different ideas of how to use them. So anyway, I am just taking a little bit of this gesso and adding it to my finger. You could use a brush if you want. I just like the control that I get from using my finger. And I'm basically just trying to join all of these little pieces up together and make them be a little more cohesive so that they kind of make sense together and just look more like a collage, you know, not so many separate little bits. So I'm just kind of softening the lines where they meet up. If there's anything that is a little bit too stark, like this white edge, that would be some place that I might want to just add a little bit of gesso to kind of soften. And in here, just kind of here and there. And if I get too much, I can, as long as I work quickly, I can wipe it off with my fingers. It does dry really quickly though, especially when you're doing a thin layer like this, so you do have to work fast. But I'm just going around and softening things just a bit. So yeah, if you guys don't live too far away from Cleveland, it was a fun day. I had a good time. I love travel. It's one of my favorite things to do. We're actually going away next month as well because October is our anniversary, and we are going all the way to the West Coast. I've never been to the West Coast before. I've been all the way south to Florida, and I've been to Tulsa, Oklahoma. I have an uncle who lives out there, and I've been to Missouri, but I've never been to the West Coast, so I am very, very excited. We're going to Portland for our anniversary, and the reason I picked Portland is because I actually was watching Darling Desi, and she did like she went on a trip to Portland. She went to Powell's bookstore, which I had never even heard of, but it is the largest independent bookstore in the world. And I just fell in love with it when I saw her video. I was like, oh my gosh, where is this place? I need to go there. And this was months and months ago, and so I looked it up and did all the research and found an Airbnb. And once I had all my information, I proposed it to my husband, and he was kind of intrigued as well, even though, like I said, he's not really a reader, so not for that reason. but he has also never been to the West Coast. My husband is from Germany. Many of you guys know that. But he's never been to the West Coast of the United States. So we thought it would be really fun to just see something that we've never seen before, what it's like out there. I watch a few different YouTubers who live either in Portland or I actually found them after I started doing the research though, but I've been watching them ever since. Morgan Long and Randy Lynn Reed are like two of my favorite YouTubers right now. They're not crafters, they just they love books and nature and stuff like that. There's a few other people like Isabel Page and stuff that just live on the West Coast. Desi also lives on the West Coast in Utah, so I just thought it would be really cool to see some of the nature that I'd been watching in these videos that looks so different from the East Coast, but I've never seen in person. And so he said yes, so I booked everything and we are going next month. So I'm very excited to see Portland and go to Powell's, but also we're gonna drive to the coast and go to Cannon Beach, which I've seen a few videos of since, and it looks absolutely stunning there. So I'm very, very excited. I can't believe it's just a few weeks away now, because it was so long ago when I started planning everything. I want to say it was March or April when I started planning everything. So it's been a really long time, and it seemed so far away for such a long time, and now it's just a couple weeks away, less than a month away, and I'm very, very excited. So I can't wait to go hiking and just see the different waterfalls, see Mount Hood. I just love being out in nature, and I really hope that the weather will cooperate. I know it'll probably be rainy, but I heard that it doesn't like rain too hard in Portland very often, so if it's just like a misty rain, that doesn't really bother me at all, as long as it doesn't make the conditions like too slippery for doing stuff. And Gemma is having a doggy dream over on the side, so I apologize if you can hear her little feet pedaling against the floor there. But yeah, very excited. I love traveling so much. It's just, I love seeing new places and trying new foods and just experiencing other cultures. And not that Portland is really a completely different culture, but you know, it's just a different section of the United States I've never been to, and I'm really, really excited about it. All right, I feel like the gesso is good, so I am going to coat this all in a layer of clear gesso next to just kind of seal everything in and prep it for the next step. All right, I've got some water off to the side there just to rinse my brush so it doesn't get too stiff, and then I'm using the Dina Wakley Media Clear Gesso. So I'll just open that up, and then I'm just gonna do like a light layer all over the page. And once again, I forgot that I should just add some parchment paper so that my pages don't get stuck together. Is that one? Nope. See, it's already happening. There we go. Yeah, you want to stick something between your pages when you get to the, you know, the stickier parts like gesso, just so that it doesn't like seal your pages together like that. So thank goodness I remembered before it was too late. So I'm just coating this in a thin layer here. You could also use matte medium if you wanted to. It'll just, it's a different product, so it'll do different things, but that's fine. It's art journaling, so just depends what kind of thing you're going for. I do like this clear gesso though. That's seems to work really well for what I do, you know, to kind of just pull everything together and then prep the page for any other mediums that I want to add on top, whether it's markers or gelatos or my Stabilo Woodies, or, you know, you could use acrylic paints, which I do want to do one of these days. And we'll see when I get to that. Or whether you use sprays or, you know, any kind of medium. There's so many different things. All right, I'm going to dry this with my heat gun, and I'll do that off screen because mine's pretty loud, so I can't really talk over it. So I don't think you want to just listen to the heat gun. So I'll do that and I'll be right back. All right, so that feels dry now. So I think I'm going to go to my Pitt Artist Pens. I think I'm going to take this olive color, which seems to be a good match for this border that I've got going on. And I think I'm just going to add a little bit more in different places. Okay, it's a much darker green, but that's okay. And I'm just going to put it on in small areas so that it doesn't dry too quickly, so that I'm able to kind of smear it around a bit and just kind of intensify the edges. Carry that into the parts where I don't have any of that border. Just kind of go around and add some definition to the edges. So these do dry permanent, these pens, but as long as you've got your paper primed with something, you should be able to smear them a bit. I don't think you're able to do that if you don't have like some clear gesso or some matte medium or something on there. I think it would just probably absorb into the paper and not really move. But that's why I'm working really kind of quickly and just in small little batches there. I think maybe I'll add a little bit of black as well, maybe, to kind of darken that. Just a few places, just to add a bit more moodiness since we are going into the fall months here. I don't want it to be light and bright, you know, I want it to kind of reflect the season, but I don't want to go too dark. That's why I didn't go in with just a straight black from the beginning. So you can kind of see it responds differently. I must not have had enough clear gesso on there. It responds kind of differently depending on what you put it on. But that's the beauty of art journaling. You kind of just play and see what happens. There's no right or wrong. I really want to darken up these corners a bit, especially too. Hesitant to use the brown because I know I've used the brown in the past and didn't love how it looked, but maybe mixed with the green and the black. Yeah, I think it actually works for this page. When I used it before, I think it was on a spring spread. Or actually maybe it was the bookish spread that I'd done a while ago. And it was kind of like a purple toned page, and I didn't like the brown and the purple together too much, but I think the brown suits this mood a lot better, especially with the brown tones that we've already got. So, all right, I feel like I want a little bit more color on the middle part, but I don't want it to be nearly so dark. So I think I'm going to use one of my Stabilo Woodies. It's got this limeish color. I think I might just add a little bit of that in a few places and see how that looks. And it's gonna brighten things up a bit. towards the center, which is kind of what I'm going for. I want like the dark edges and then the softer center with just touches of color here and there, kind of like a dreamy, hazy glow, you know? And I like these because they are just so super blendable. You can use your finger like I'm doing, or you could also blend them with some water, just depending on what you're going for. I do have a darker green, but it's more of like a blue green, so I don't know. I'll try just like a little, maybe mix together if it's just subtle. Kind of adds another dimension to that lighter green. Especially when it's like more toward the edges where those darker colors kind of creep up. Or here like in the shadows underneath this branch. All right, I'm going to try something. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I have this Inca Gold metallic rub. It says for drying metallic rub colorant, fast drying metallic rub colorant can be easily and quickly applied to almost any dry absorbent surface such as paper, paper mache, wood, bisque, terracotta, etc. Apply color with a soft cloth, rub, buff. Contains beeswax. Okay, this is super old. I don't even remember when I bought this, but it has to be years and years and years. It could be a decade old, honestly. I don't know when I got it. Apparently, I've never even opened it, but I just had it in my drawer, so I thought it might be fun to add a little bit to... Wow, it's really well sealed, so maybe it'll still work. Maybe I won't even open it all the way because just leave some of that. So I'm just going to use my finger. I'm going to see if it works. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, that's pretty. A little bit goes a long way. Still just from that first little dip, it's now starting to get a little bit faded. I don't want it like the whole way around. I kind of just want it here and there. Just to highlight. I think that would be really pretty on the corners. So I'm not exactly using it the way it says because I'm not applying it with the cloth, and I don't know if I'm gonna buff it off. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I don't really know what I'm doing, but just playing with stuff, seeing what happens. That might be it. I don't think I want it in the middle. I think that might be it. Just put a little extra there. That's kind of cool though. It gave a little bit of a gold shine on the edges, which I think looks really nice with those dark edges we already did. Oh, I might have to try to use that on a card sometime soon. That was pretty cool. So I think I want to try doing a little bit of outlining with a black gel pen. This one might not work. I know I had trouble with it last time. We'll see here. That seems all right so far. Not everywhere, just a few little sketchy lines here and there, maybe just to kind of draw attention to the main images. So I'm kind of just outlining the different parts of my hedgehog now. We used to have hedgehogs that lived in the barn on my husband's family's property in Germany. In German, a hedgehog is called an Igel, I-G-E-L. So at first it took me a long time to understand what they were saying was living out there. Eagles, I thought, you know, bald eagles or some other kind of eagle. Like I didn't get the connection at first, but once I found out that they meant hedgehogs, I thought that was really cool. They were hard to spot, but it was fun when you did see one. Yeah, there was like a whole little family living out in the barn. I think hedgehogs are super adorable. I even thought about getting one as a pet before, because I used to watch another YouTube channel where they had a pet hedgehog, but I think they're really nocturnal, and that probably just wouldn't have suited my family's lifestyle, you know, with the kids were kind of young at the time, so I think they probably would have bothered it a little bit more. We had guinea pigs instead, but they were a lot of fun. Alright, so I'm just basically drawing some sketchy lines here. Nothing too specific, just to kind of draw your eye toward the, you know, the main images here, just to give them a bit of extra definition. I think I might just blacken the squirrel's eye a little bit more, because, you know, with all the gesso and stuff, they can kind of get lost. Same with our little hedgie. Not too much, kind of getting softer as it starts to fade out. Same with over here. And I think that's it. I'm not going to do it anywhere else really, because maybe just a few little lines around the edges just to add in some extra detail, but just kind of scribbles, you know, nothing too crazy, just to add some texture really. Alright, I think it's time for a title. So I'm going to go to my Tim Holtz Small Talk Ideology stickers and see what I want to do. So many good ones, but just trying to find something that is appropriate to how I was feeling this month, you know. So I really like this attitude is everything. I feel like that sums up a lot of what's been going on. And make today count, maybe? You are enough. That one's one that I've struggled with for a long time, so that's probably a good one, but I think I need something that is going to tie these together. I think I might take this one, this Be in Love with Your Life. I think that one might work. Okay. So maybe up there, be in love with your life. Make today count. Attitude is everything. You are enough. Okay, I like that. Alright, so I want to outline these as well. Just using my black gel pen. I'm being very sketchy with it, so it matches the sketchiness of the other black lines. And just draws your eye. And I like this "you are enough" being like separate, because it's like the final punctuation, you know, the final thought. Alright, so I want to add some gold splatter, but I don't want it to cover the eyes of my critters. So let me just grab some scraps here And then I'm going to use my Gansai Tambi Starry colors because I think that's a good match for that Inca Gold. And then we'll just add some splatters, some that are finer and some that are a little bit bigger there, just to have a nice mix. I think that's good. Carefully remove those. Alright, so I think all that's left is my date, so let me grab my date stamp. I'm using Ranger Archival black ink, and I've changed my date stamp. It's September 28th today. I'm hoping to get this edited and up for you guys as a bonus video tomorrow, so it's still up in September. And this will be a bonus video because I already have a video for Hello Bluebird scheduled for Friday, so Thursday is the last day that I could kind of sneak it in. I wanted to do this earlier in the week, but it was raining so loud that there was just no chance you guys wouldn't have been able to hear me over the sound of the rain. So I think we're just going to add it in maybe right here. Let's see. Perfect! Hey, we got it on the first try. Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the September art journaling spread with my favorite animal, the red squirrel. I think it turned out super cute. I really, really like this page, and I love the memories that it'll have there with the Apple Tree Books bookmark. So hope you had fun crafting along with me or hanging out and chatting, and definitely leave me a comment down below and let me know how you're doing, what you're working on, any travel plans you've got. I'd love to hear from you guys and just kind of you know, engage in some conversation down in the comment section. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll be back tomorrow, like I said, with a card making video, and I'll see you again soon. All right, bye-bye.